One of the features I am most excited to share from the autumn issue of CardMaker is our Tips and Techniques feature by Kimber McGray titled Creating with Vellum. As she and I were discussing ideas for this column, we both agreed that the growing trend to use vellum on cards provided us with an ideal topic. Vellum has been used for centuries in printing, and in more modern years, this translucent specialty paper has made its way into crafts of all kinds, including card making. There are a wide variety of techniques that crafters of all skill levels can enjoy, and an added bonus is that creating with vellum only requires a few simple tools. So let's take a look at some of the inspiring projects our designers have created for the autumn issue of CardMaker. In the simplest approach, vellum can be used as an overlay to soften colors, and by adding a stamped image, creates an easy stained glass look as showcased on Stacy Morgan's Harvest birthday card. Here, Stacy stamped the same image on vellum and on white cardstock. The cardstock image was colored and the vellum image laid over the top. Stamping on vellum is one of my favorite techniques and requires only a fast-drying ink such as Memento dye ink and your choice of stamps. Here, Isha Gupta demonstrates another stamping technique to create a pretty background by using a variety of stamps and several ink colors. Colleen Shawn joins us again with a tutorial on coloring stamped image with alcohol ink for a result similar to watercolor. Now there is one key tip to keep in mind before you take ink to vellum. Ink dries more slowly on vellum, so it's important to remember that you'll need to heat set or allow a little more time for the ink to dry to avoid smudges. Wet embossing is another popular approach to creating with vellum, and it's a look I absolutely love. For this technique, you'll need a watermark ink pad, your choice of stamp, an embossing powder, and a heat tool. Here are examples of white embossed designs using two slightly different approaches. Kimber has used a white ink and a clear embossing powder to create her sentiment, and Isha opted to use watermark ink with white embossing powder for her pretty background design. Lois Back created pretty flowers with a lovely gold embossed design on the front of the vellum and color added on the reverse side. Vellum can also be dry embossed with a stylus or with an embossing folder. When working with a stylus, the first approach is to place heavy vellum right side down on a light box, position the stencil on the vellum, and the stylus is used to trace the design. The second approach is to stamp an image with fast-drying ink on paper, then place the stamped image on a foam pad. Next, place your vellum over the stamped image and trace the lines with a stylus, being careful not to apply too much pressure, which could tear the vellum. For a quicker approach to dry embossing, place your vellum inside an embossing folder and pass it through a die-cutting machine. Here we've used the Spellbinder's Grand Caliber and the Embossability's Bricks and Bark folder to create a design that would be perfect for autumn greeting cards. You may need to experiment with this technique a bit to determine if you need to use an additional sheet of paper to keep the vellum from cracking, as the pressure from one machine to the next can vary significantly. As you can see, there's so much you can do with vellum, and our autumn issue is filled with these and many more inspiring project ideas just waiting for you to try. If you'd like to learn more about the articles and projects included in our autumn issue, visit CardMakerMagazine.com and click on the Current Issue tab. Or join us at CardMakerMagazine.com/blog for valuable tutorials, tips, inspiration, and card making advice for working with vellum and other products. As always, if there's a special card making technique or article that you'd like to see featured in CardMaker, please send your suggestions to editor@CardMakerMagazine.com or visit our Facebook page and leave a message there. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for stopping by and sharing a little of your day with me. And until next time, happy card making.